I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Many years ago, I made a sculpture thing. I took a piece of rusty old steel that was part of a elevator, grain elevator, and I cut out this shape. It's a design that I borrowed from a magazine and cut it out and painted the whole thing by hand. And the thing that I thought was the coolest was the blue and white paint, and that was strictly serendipity. I didn't have enough blue paint to cover it, so I started trying to mix it with a white, and the white and the blue didn't blend well, so I ended up with this stripe. Well, when I saw it on the first side, I thought, oh man, this is not going to work. And then I went through and did a second coat, and it looks pretty cool. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make some yard art. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to trace this onto a piece of brown paper bag. Then I'm going to use that tracing to cut it out of a bigger piece of steel. Make it a little bit larger perhaps. See how that works. But the idea is to have it on a pivot point so that it acts as a weather vane. This big sail is going to keep it so that it's pointed into the wind. And I think it'll be a nice little bit of motion for the garden. And to make a template so I can cut it out, I'm going to use a piece of brown paper bag, because this is the kind of stuff that's infinitely recyclable. It's also relatively cheap. When I go to the Myers store to buy groceries, they hand these out free for nothing. And over the years I have used this kind of brown paper for all kinds of things. Makes good wrapping paper in a pinch. You can package things up and wrap the box in this stuff and write on it. It covers up a multitude of sins. But it also is fairly sturdy. You can make carburetor gaskets out of it. Yes, you can. And all kinds of things. I'm using the dining room table just because it's a nice large surface and I can work on it easily. Any flat surface would work. This is my best option at this point. Now I cut this out with a variety of tools. Files, hacksaws, jigsaws, all kinds of things. I'm going to do the primary cutting on this one with a plasma cutter, because the steel I'm going to be using now is a lot thicker. It's part of the old fuel oil tank that I used when I made the wheelbarrow for the garden. But after I get the rough stuff cut, then I'll come back in and cut the fine cuts with files and jigsaws. Because all of these things are supposed to be pointed. So I'm just touching up the features. I could have freehanded the whole thing, but the original object was a gift, and I would like to copy it as closely as I can to maintain the integrity of the gift, because this is supposed to be an extension of that original gift. Don't know how it's going to work out. It always amazes me when things do work well, because quite often I work without a plan. This is as close to original planning as I get. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching. This is an upcoming project. I still have a wheelbarrow to finish and a whole lot of stuff to get to. But I wanted to do this while I had a little time. I'm waiting for some other projects to dry, and nothing works better than planning out your next project while the one you're working on is making you wait for it. Thanks for watching.